Welcome to Bible Study with Fred. I'm in Proverbs chapter 11, starting in verses 12 and 13, and see how far I get. So if you want to follow along with me in your Bible or a Bible you have on your computer, um, Proverbs 11, 12, and 13. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his peace. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth a matter. Now, getting along with your neighbors is not always an easy thing. But remember that Jesus defined our neighbor as anyone we happen to run across in our daily dealings by his parable of the Good Samaritan. Here it is said that a person of understanding keeps his mouth shut rather than treats his neighbor shabbily. Holding your peace has become a part of the English language, in meaning that you don't say something that might cause a verbal confrontation or even just to remain silent. Verse 13 reveals that the reason for being silent is to keep from gossiping or betraying a trust. And that goes back to our previous proverb where we talked about how, if you talk a lot, it's inevitable that you'll sin against God and your neighbor. Proverbs and your neighbor. Proverbs 17:28 confirms the meaning of holding your peace. People who talk too much generally can't be trusted to keep their mouths shut when you have entrusted them with something personal. In my life, I've seen both men and women guilty of this. One thing God seems to be trying to tell us over and over again in Proverbs is not to talk too much. Guard your tongue. Proverbs 11:14. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Where no counsel is, the people fall. In Judges 17:6 and 21:25, it is said that the people did what was right in their own eyes. In the French book, Madness and Democracy, it is said that democracy makes every man think he is his own God, and in doing so drives himself insane. Our country has no sane and godly counsel in the government. All are gone by the way. Now look at Absalom's acceptance of the counsel of David's man, Hushai the Archite, over Ahithophel, to his own doom, accepting the counsel of one. Where you're concerned, look to several different people for opinion on a matter. Don't just accept the ideas of one person. Discuss your situation with different people and get a more rounded view of what you should do. Then, pray to God for guidance before your decision, because many counselors can also confuse the issue if God is not a part of your decision, as what happened to Rehoboam. If the multitude of counselors are not right with God, then their counsel will be no good. However, seeking advice from several godly people who read their Bible and pray faithfully will help you. I've had several issues turn into disasters because the only counsel I sought was my own with regard to what to do. In verse 15, he that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sure. Simply, and it has been said before, not to put yourself on the hook for someone else's debts. Here, specifically, the stranger is mentioned. The stranger, the foreigner, probably a heathen man, is not someone you should be so closely linked with. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? It is foolish to give your good word as well of someone who is not born again or who is a carnal Christian. Do not vouch for someone's character who lacks the character of Christ. Don't co-sign notes for them or give references. Their bad character may bring yours down. This is often true in families where pressure is made on someone to lift up another who sometimes doesn't deserve to be lifted up, and whose acts of bad faith make the person speaking for them look as bad as they are. A long time ago, you didn't just walk into a Baptist church, listen to a couple of sermons, and be pleaded with to join up. You were welcome to come and worship and hear the sermons, but if you weren't recommended by a couple of members, you weren't going to be a member. Those members as well needed to have been members for a while. If you came forward and got saved, you were under the watch care of the church for a time to see if your conversion was real. Even in the Southern Baptist Church, when my daughters went forward to announce their belief, before they were baptized, they had to appear before a deacon who questioned them as to whether they understood what they publicly professed. Even the communist Viet Cong required that two members of at least 6 months' good standing recommend someone for membership in the National Liberation Front before accepting them as members. Not long ago, just a few years, we went to a church, my wife and I, for a few sermons, and the pastor asked us to make a decision and join. I was a little taken aback by that. He already knew us. Anyway, the point is to be careful who you are vouching for and making surety for. I refer you to what was said about in 6:1. Now, we're going to stop there and pick it up in verse 16 next time. And I'm asking again, as I always do, please read your Bible today, study it, cross-reference it. Pray to God for wisdom and understanding. Share your interpretation with someone else. If you watched the video this far, why not click like and then subscribe or follow? All right. Thank you very much.